Can you feel it? That heavy silence before everything changes? Season 5 of The Chosen left us breathless with the Last Supper, but what's coming next will crush us. The moment we've feared and waited for is finally being filmed. The Crucifixion. And now, with cameras rolling on Season 6, Dallas Jenkins just dropped a bombshell update that changes everything. We thought we knew about the release, the schedule, and even how this story will be told. What we're about to witness isn't just another chapter. It's the most emotionally intense and spiritually devastating season of The Chosen. Yet, and it's already begun. It happened quietly. Almost too quietly. On April 14th, while fans were still processing the emotional wreckage of Season 5's ending, a single photo appeared on The Chosen's official page. A behind-the-scenes image? Nothing flashy. Just enough to confirm what we all suspected: Season 6 is officially in production. In North Texas, the cast and crew are already deep into what Dallas Jenkins calls the most powerful season yet. But something feels different this time. There's a weight, a gravity hanging over every update. Because we know where this is going. We've seen the Gospels. We know the cross is coming. And now The Chosen is entering the darkest and most sacred part of Jesus' earthly story. The betrayal has already happened. The Last Supper has been shared. And now the road leads straight to the crucifixion. What we don't know is how they'll show it. The Chosen has always been emotionally charged, but family-friendly. Will they stay subtle, or will they finally show us the horror that so many other films have dared to depict? Dallas Jenkins has said nothing will be gratuitous, but he's also promised honesty. That means pain. That means sorrow. That means we're not ready for what's about to unfold. And if you thought Season 5 was hard to watch, just wait. Season 6 isn't just a continuation, it's a breaking point. Not just for Jesus, but for the disciples, for Mary, for Judas, for us. And that's not even the biggest shock yet. Because Dallas has now confirmed a major change in how this season will be released. And it's turning everything upside down. For years, one of the most remarkable things about The Chosen wasn't just the storytelling. It was the transparency. Dallas Jenkins and his team let fans into the process like no other show has ever done. Behind-the-scenes live streams, real-time updates, open discussions about setbacks and victories. It built trust. It made us feel like we were part of something. Sacred like this wasn't just a show, but a movement. But now, that openness is shifting. Not because Dallas wants to push us away, but because the weight of expectation has become overwhelming. And in a recent live Q&A, he explained exactly why things had to change. He said, "We've always been extremely transparent, monumentally more so than any other movie or television show in history. But sometimes that includes our real-time thoughts. Like, okay, we think it might come out at this time, and we're not sure." That level of honesty created excitement, but it also led to confusion. Release dates were guests shared, then missed. Fans waited eagerly only to be told not yet. And every delay felt personal. So Dallas is doing something bold. Something difficult. He's cutting back, not on content, not on access, but on early announcements. No more estimated dates, no more release targets until they're locked in, confirmed, and ready to go. Why? Because this season, above all others, cannot be rushed. And if Season 6 really is the emotional climax of Jesus' ministry on earth, then it deserves every ounce of care no matter how long it takes. That doesn't mean we're in the dark completely. Dallas did give us a few hints. Carefully, cautiously. He confirmed that the first 6 episodes of Season 6 will be released sometime in 2026, but not early in the year. So, we're looking at summer or possibly even fall. But that's not all. He also dropped something huge. The final episode, The Crucifixion, will not be released with the rest. Instead, it will become a global theatrical event. Yes, you heard that right. A finale so powerful, so important, that it will premiere in theaters around the world. This isn't just another episode. It's a sacred moment in the story of Jesus Christ. And Dallas wants to give it the weight it deserves. That decision changes everything about how Season 6 will unfold. We'll follow the emotional journey of the disciples, feel the rising tension in Jerusalem, experience the heartbreak, and then we'll have to wait. There will be a gap between Episode 6 and the finale. Silence. And maybe that's intentional, because that's how it really happened. After the arrest of Jesus, there was silence, confusion, darkness. Maybe that break between episodes isn't just a scheduling decision. It's symbolic. It's meant to let us feel the loss before we see. The resurrection, it's meant to remind us that hope often comes after despair. But this gap also brings uncertainty. When exactly will that finale drop? Will it be weeks? Months? Could it be 2027 before we see it? Dallas hasn't confirmed, and that unknown is both exciting and frustrating. Some fans are celebrating the cinematic scale, calling it a Passion of the Christ moment for this generation. Others worry about delays, accessibility, and how long they'll have to wait. And beneath all of it is one question we're all afraid to ask: how much more can we emotionally take? Because if you think Season 5 was heavy, Season 6 will be crushing. And it's not just about Jesus. It's about Peter, who will deny him and shatter into pieces. It's about Mary, who will watch her son suffer and die. It's about Judas, whose betrayal has already begun, but whose final moment is yet to come. It's about every disciple facing the unbearable truth that the man they followed, the man they believed was the Messiah, is going to die. And they won't understand why not yet. The power of this season lies not in the violence, but in the silence, the grief, the confusion. The Chosen has always focused on the heart more than the spectacle. And that's what will make Season 6 so unbearable and so unforgettable. The Crucifixion has been portrayed on screen many times often with brutal realism. But The Chosen is different. This isn't just a story, it's his story. The most important one ever told, and Dallas Jenkins knows the responsibility that comes with that. Which is why every delay matters. Every decision to withhold a release date to craft a theatrical finale to break the season into two distinct emotional arcs. It all points to one thing: reverence. This is sacred ground, and Dallas doesn't want to walk it lightly. Still, some fans are worried about the pace. With Season 5 wrapping in theaters and coming to Prime Video on June 15th, people assumed Season 6 would come quickly. But this isn't a typical production. Dallas is also working on other shows within The Chosen's biblical universe, possibly expanding into spin-offs or parallel stories. That means delays are possible, maybe even likely. And while some fans will be patient, others may struggle with the waiting. But here's the truth. If this story is going to reach its full emotional and spiritual power, it has to be done. Right, not fast. Dallas understands the pressure. He knows how invested the audience is. But he also knows the crucifixion of Jesus isn't something you just get done. It's something you prepare for with prayer, with precision, with pain. So now we wait, and we hope, and we brace ourselves, because what's coming next will change everything. But beyond the filming updates and the mystery of the release schedule, there's a deeper question gnawing at every devoted fan's heart. How will The Chosen portray the crucifixion? This isn't just another scene. This is the moment everything changes. The moment history split in two. For 2,000 years, artists, writers, and filmmakers have wrestled with how to show it, how to capture the agony, the horror, and the overwhelming love that all collided on that brutal hill outside Jerusalem. And now, it's The Chosen's turn. Dallas Jenkins and his team have brought us this far through miracles, parables, heartbreak, and joy. But nothing they've done compares to what they now must face. This is where the cost is counted. This is where Jesus is no longer just the teacher, or the healer, or the miracle worker. This is where he is broken, abandoned, and nailed to a cross willingly. And while other films like The Passion of the Christ focused on the graphic violence, the blood, the beatings, the gore, The Chosen has always taken a different path. It's never shied away from pain, but it's leaned more into the emotional and spiritual weight of each moment. And now, with the crucifixion looming, fans are torn between curiosity and fear. How far will they go? Will they shield us from the worst of it? Or will they make us sit in that pain with the disciples, with Mary, with the crowds who once cheered him and now spit at him? Because that's what made The Chosen so powerful in the first place. It puts us in the story. We don't watch from a distance. We feel it. We carry it. And Season 6 will demand more from us than ever before. Think about what we're walking into. Judas has already betrayed him. Peter is on the edge of denial. The Romans are preparing the cross, and Jesus, knowing everything that's about to unfold, is still walking forward. Every step is a sacrifice. Every glance holds sorrow. And we as the audience are powerless to stop what's coming. That tension, that inevitability is what makes this season so terrifying. Not in a horror movie way, but in the way a heart breaks when it knows something beautiful is about to be lost. And then there's Mary. Imagine watching your child, the one you raised, the one you nursed and rocked to sleep, be led away to die a criminal's death. The grief, the helplessness, the sheer weight of it. It's unbearable. And yet it's real, and that's what The Chosen will show us. Not just the pain of Jesus, but the agony of everyone who loved him. Because this isn't just his crucifixion, it's theirs too. And it's ours. Dallas has hinted before that Season 6 will be the most emotionally intense thing they've ever filmed. Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus, has said these scenes have wrecked him. Not just physically, but spiritually. Because to play these moments isn't acting. It's surrender. And now with the cameras rolling, they've begun filming the scenes that will define the entire show. Everything has led to this. From the moment Jesus called Mary Magdalene by name, to the Sermon on the Mount, to the feeding of the 5,000. To the raising of Lazarus, every miracle, every teaching, every act of mercy. They all point here to the cross. And while Season 6 won't end the story, because resurrection is coming, it will take us through the darkest valley. The Garden of Gethsemane, the betrayal kiss, the trial, the scourging, the crown of thorns, the silence of heaven. As the son cries out, "Why have you forsaken me?" These are not easy scenes to write. They are not easy to watch, but they are necessary, because this is the moment where love costs everything. And that's what The Chosen has always been about, showing the cost, showing the humanity, and reminding us again and again that he chose this. Not because he had to, but because he loved us enough to die. That's why fans are already preparing themselves emotionally. Not just for the scenes, not just for the finale, but for the crushing beauty of a savior who was willing to go that far. We may never be the same after watching it. And honestly, we shouldn't be. Season 6 isn't just a season. It's a crucible. And the only way out is through the sorrow, through the silence, through the suffering, and only then into the light. And yet, even in the darkness of what's coming in Season 6, we cannot forget one thing. This is not the end. It may feel like it. The betrayal, the trial, the execution, the sealed tomb, the silence of a Saturday without hope. All of it will crush the hearts of the disciples and tear through ours as we watch helpless just like them. But buried inside all that pain is a seed, a promise that death does not win. Season 6 may take us to the cross, but Season 7 will take us to the garden. And that changes everything. Because The Chosen has never been about telling a tragedy. It's always been about revealing the miracle of a God who stepped into our suffering and rewrote the ending. That's why this series matters. It's not just a retelling of Bible stories. It's a journey into the hearts of people who were shattered by loss and then transformed by resurrection. And as we brace ourselves for what Season 6 will show us, the horror, the betrayal, the brutal silence of God in the middle of agony, we must remember that the story keeps going. Mary Magdalene, Peter, John, Thomas. They will all be broken in Season 6. Their faith will shatter into pieces. They will run. They will hide. They will cry out with questions that sound just like ours. Why did he let this happen? Why didn't he stop it? Was he really the Messiah, or were we wrong? These questions don't just belong to the disciples. They belong to every single person who has walked through grief. And that's what will make Season 6 so unbearable and so necessary. Because we'll see ourselves in their confusion, in their denial, in their fear. And yet what they don't know, and what we do, is that Sunday morning is coming. And that's the brilliance of how The Chosen tells its story. It doesn't rush to the resurrection. It makes us wait. It lets us feel the weight of what was lost before revealing what was won. That's why Season 7 will not just be a happy ending. It will be a resurrection that feels earned. That feels real, because we will have walked through every shadow. Dallas Jenkins knows this. He said, Before that, this 7-season arc is about showing how Jesus changed everything, but to show that he has to take us through the fire first. That's why season 6 is so crucial. It will break us before it heals us. It will crush our hope before it reveals what hope really means. And when we finally see that stone rolled away, in season 7, when Mary runs to tell the others that he is risen, when Thomas touches the scars and falls to his knees, when Peter is forgiven on a quiet beach at sunrise, it will not just be a moment of joy. It will be a resurrection inside us too. And let's not forget, season 7 won't just cover the resurrection. It will explore what happens after the Great Commission, the ascension, the beginnings of the church, the doubts, the questions, the fire of the Holy Spirit. The disciples will go from frightened men in a locked room to bold witnesses standing before kings. And that transformation, that shift from grief to glory, is only possible because of what season 6 will show. It's all connected. The pain, the waiting, the miracle. That's the genius of this entire project. Every season has been layered, with meaning. From the first time Jesus told Simon Peter to cast his net to the wedding at Cana, to the parable of the lost sheep, all of it has been building to this. Season 6 is the valley, season 7 is the mountain, but you can't have one without the other. And as fans, we're not just watching, we're walking it. We've given years of our lives to this story. We've cried with Mary, we've doubted with Thomas, we've run with Peter, and now we're about to stand at the foot of the cross and see the cost of love in its most brutal form. That's why The Chosen is not just a show, it's a mirror, a reflection of our fears, our faith, our failures, and our redemption. And when season 6 finally ends, when the screen fades to black and the tomb is sealed, we will sit in the silence. But we will also wait, because we know what the disciples did in Sunday is coming. And when it does, The Chosen will not just finish its story, it will fulfill its promise. A promise that hope can rise from the grave, that death does not win, that the darkest night always breaks into dawn. Season 6 is going to break us, but season 7 will raise us back up. That's the journey, that's the point. And I, for one, am ready to walk it, are you? So here we are standing on the edge of something. That feels historic. Season 6 of The Chosen isn't just another season of a show, it's the moment everything has been leading to. And as we look back on this journey from that very first season, filmed on a shoestring budget, to now, with millions of viewers across the world, theatrical releases, global translations, and a fandom unlike anything we've seen in faith-based media, it's impossible not to feel it in your soul. This means something. It's more than entertainment. The Chosen has created a movement, a space where people who've never touched a Bible before now know every word of Jesus. A place where believers are challenged, comforted, and sometimes undone by the honesty of these characters. And a project where the cast and crew themselves often feel transformed by the very roles they play. There's never been a series like this, never, in season 6 is going to prove that once again. The stakes are higher, the emotions deeper, the cost greater, and the impact eternal. Because whether you're a skeptic, a seeker, or a believer, there's no denying what this show does. It pulls you in, breaks you open, and leaves you changed. And yet even now, as we prepare for what might be the most heartbreaking and powerful season, yet we're not alone. This community, the fans, the supporters, the people who funded this project one episode at a time, we're walking this road together. We've been there for every miracle, every parable, every moment of doubt, every tear. And now we stand together waiting to witness the crucifixion, not as a scene, not as a plot point, but as the beating heart of the story. And we trust Dallas Jenkins and his team to handle it with reverence, creativity, and courage. Because this isn't just storytelling. This is sacred ground. And somehow they've never lost that sense of humility in how they approach it. Even in the middle of delays, budget challenges, or impossible expectations, the creators have stayed true to the vision to show Jesus through the eyes of those who met him. And that vision, it's working. We feel like we've met him too. That's the legacy The Chosen is building. It's not just about one show or one project. It's about reintroducing the world to the man who changed history. And as season 6 draws closer with all its weight and wonder, we realize this is what the whole thing has been about. Not just to show how Jesus lived, but to show what he gave up, and to let that truth wreck us in the best possible way. So now we wait. We pray. We wonder how they'll portray the garden, the trial, the cross. We wonder if we'll be able to handle it. But more than that, we wonder what we'll carry with us after the credits roll. Because season 6 isn't the end. It's the beginning of the most powerful part of the story: resurrection, redemption, and a world turned upside down by love. That's what's coming. That's The Chosen. And if you've made it this far, if you've walked this whole journey with us, then you know one thing for sure: you are not just a viewer. You're part of the story now. So stay with it. Stay ready. Because the next chapter is going to break you, and then it will raise you up just like he did.